Hello everyone, we are here with a brand new episode of TNT Tag, Animal Planet Edition. As you can see, the Wild French and Vince are setting up their own recording, and they are recording the video right now as we speak, as they go to the new map.
They enter the world of get us out of here.
They stay away from the wheat as they go to the next map.
The Wild French flags as he runs through the wheat. Why is there so much wheat?
The Wild French and Vince stumble upon the freaking wheat again. We do not like this.
The game starts as the Wild French tries to survive long enough to be teleported magically. The Wild French is magically teleported to Spirals, where he sees a stormtrooper.
Where the French starts to like this place. Wild French seems to have a liking to this place.
Wild French sits on his throne. Wild French is attacked by a cookie on his throne.
Wild French and Vince are struggling to survive as they live in the wild. The Wild Vince accidentally tagged the Wild French.
Wild French sees the Wild Vince and he's planning for revenge.
The Wild Vince makes a run for it, as he does not want to be it and die.
Wild French tags someone else instead. Wild French is attacked by someone who does not know how to give someone its disease.
The Wild Vince is making its way up to the top, where he hopes to see French if he doesn't die through this round. Wild Vince hopefully does not get knocked off.
The Wild French sees the Wild Vince as he throws someone off a cliff.
The Wild Vince saw the Wild French and he is running up to get him. The Wild French and Vince make it together. And as they do their epic parkour skills, they make it to the top where they're as a pack.
French sniffs for the wild, it's Edwin, and he does not smell him.
The Wild French and Vince
The Wild French is attacked by the eye power moves.
The Wild French and Vince struggle to survive in their land. Hopefully the Wild Vince does not get knocked off by the power moves.
Time out, okay? You get time out.
Wild Vince and French have put him in a timeout.
He runs from the timeout, so the Wild French continues his assault.
Wild French and Vince are beating this guy up to a pulp.
Don't push him into the corner. Push him off a hole. Or into a hole, or off the edge.
The Wild Vince jumps over a hole.
The Wild French pushes the Wild Eye Powers moves into a hole.
The Wild French and
You're
Vince
weird, Austin.
realize that he is it. The Wild Vince struggles to survive with the it disease.
What'd you say, Austin?
The Wild Vince runs away as he made a daring escape as he jumped down a hole. The Wild Vince makes his way back up to the top to see his friend Vince. I do not want to pull a Kawhi Chan. The French, as he sees that the Wild French is it, and he tries to make it to it. The Wild Vince sees him and runs away, just in case he turns on the Wild Vince.
The Wild French escape from the eye power moves and kills him.
And the stormtrooper has died.
Wild French makes his trip to return.
The Wild Vince leaves as he runs away from the Wild Its. Will he survive the it disease? Only time will tell.
The Wild French arrives to see no one care, because everyone left. And then he gets thrown off a cliff.
Wild Vince is making his way back up as he sees the Wild French running for his life. The Wild Vince runs because there's an it right by him. The Wild Vince makes it down safely.
The wild French.
The wild Vince is being attacked by an it, but the wild Vince lives.
The wild French nearly dies to an it, but he then kills another person.
The same thing happened to the wild Vince.
The wild French makes his way back, only to be attacked by its.
The wild Vince makes his way up to the top to help the wild French.
The wild French throws the it off the cliff.
The wild Vince moves away as the wild it is making his way back up. The wild Vince is having trouble surviving because there's an it chasing him as he is down at the bottom floor. The wild Vince is making it, hopefully. Will he survive? He does not.
The wild French is alone as he tries to kill this oakwood person. Because we do not need wood people. We have enough wood in this world.
Why does the wood person have a diaper?
Because they're weird.
Why does he have giant lips and a crown and a teeth? And not a teeth, glasses I meant. And a mustache.
The wild French sees the person who tried to kill him. He then fights them.
The wild French fights the person that killed the wild Vince as he tries to restore the pack.
The wild French runs, and he makes it up, and he claims his land.
In the name of Vince and French.
He then sees the piece of wood, and he does not accept it.
The wild French has been made it to the death match, which for some goddamn reason he was captured. He was sent to the center of the map. Will he be able to live? Only time will tell. And the story of Grills versus Wild. The wild French makes his way to escape. The wild French is somehow juking him, but the wild French dies.
Because his jukes weren't good enough.
The wild French and Vince somehow come back to life and look for a new land to claim. Hopefully they do not get the wheat. They got the same place.
Yeah, there's someone named Wheatley.
Oh yeah? There is a guy named Wheat.
No, it's Wheatley.
Still. And the wild Vince is in the spawn. The wild Vince somehow makes it and lives, but he is glitched and he got kicked.
Wild French makes his move. He runs.
Wild French somehow gets magically teleported to a new map.
Wild French is surprised that it is the exact same map.
For the third time. How long has this been going on for?
It has been going on for 8 minutes.
Alright.
Oh dear, everyone's dying.
The wild Vince is making his way to the top, hopefully to see his comrade, Wild French.
Wild French chases his new arch nemesis, eye power moves.
The wild French and Vince make their way to the top, hopefully to make their way to see each other.
Wild French is attacked by the eye power moves, and he runs after tagging them.
Wild French is no longer it.
He then sacrifices another being.
Wild Vince is waiting for the Wild French at the land that he has claimed.
The Wild French cannot get up because people keep throwing him off cliffs.
The Wild Vince is in its claimed area.
The Wild French is fed up with Gamer Master and is going to kill him.
The Wild French realizes that he should probably head up to the top where his comrade is waiting. The Wild Vince runs as it has been capturing the whole thing.
The Wild
Wild Vince struggles to live as he runs away. The wild Vince keeps running and running and running until there's nothing left. The wild Vince is tagged by his comrade, French boy Ted. Wild Vince seeks revenge, but instead tries to go for another guy. Wild Vince somehow barely makes it up to the top, where he sees the wild French and punches him because he betrayed him.
The wild French is starting a mosh pit.
The wild French and Vince survive at their claimed land, and wild Vince is still punching him because he betrayed him.
The wild French is getting ganged on by the entire area.
The wild Vince makes it out of that mosh pit.
Where there was an 8. Wild French makes a jump.
Wild Vince runs away.
The wild French watches the wild Vince. Wild Vince takes a peek back and he smiles. A teddy bear. That was a panda, not a teddy bear.
Alright.
Wild French then tries to throw someone out of their way as they are
The wild
slow.
Vince realizes he found the most overpowered spot in probably the whole game.
Wild French joins him. The wild French defends.
Along with the Vince.
The wild French questions if he can make the jump. He cannot make the jump.
Wild Vince is hoping that the wild French will make it back soon. The wild French has made it back. Don't slap me. Stop slapping me. The 8 has come on and he has been tagged. The wild Vince has been tagged as he jumps down and jumps down again. Wait, hopefully being able to survive.
The wild French is now the only one there. He watches as an 8 tries to kill someone, unknowingly that the French is like 5 feet away.
The wild Vince is striking back.
Wild French waits for the wild Vince to return.
The wild Vince has died.
The wild French does not care.
Wild Vince is the wild French is cold-hearted. The wild Vince spirit hopefully says that he hopefully dies. Well, the French will probably die. Or maybe not, because his jukes are too good. But they are not good enough to survive that. Wild French is trying to survive as the wild 8 chases him, and him only. And now the wild French is 8 and he fell down to the bottom of the map where nobody is there. The wild French dies.
The wild French is angry because the person targeted him. For no reason at all. Just because they felt like it.
The wild French and Vince are reborn once more in the map known as the...
The wild French says this is the last game.
Yes, it is. The wild Vince already knows this.
After this, we will kill them both.
While Vince and French are ready for battle as they fight against its disease. But will they survive? Nobody will know.
The wild French checks for anyone who wants to kill. He does not see anyone.
While Vince runs away. But will he survive? We will find out after this commercial break.
And now we are back with Animal Planet.
While Vince and French are struggling to survive as in the map known as Bloom. The land known as Bloom is hard to survive in because there are too many gigantic flowers.
The wild French is attacked.
Wild Vince is trying to survive as they realize that they got a chat message.
The wild French tries to check, but he can't because he's being attacked. The wild French sees an 8 and takes that as his chance to run.
The wild French and Vince are struggling to survive as they realize that as the Vince sees him and tries to meet up with him. The wild Vince calls out his name.
The wild French goes to check what the noise was. It was Amber saying hi.
Why was she saying hi?
Because why not?
That is very true.
And now, running in circles.
The wild Vince is getting his territory. The wild Vince sees a wild it and they run.
French does not run, he continues his circling. Which is actually a pretty good tactic because the it couldn't hit him.
The wild Vince has made his way up to the bridge, going back to meet the wild Vince. Not Vince, I meant French. Don't judge me on my name mixed up.
The wild French continues running in circles.
The wild Vince does not see him as he saw in it, and he runs to the other side of the map.
The wild French runs as an it chases him.
The wild Vince runs as an it chases him too, and the it blew up right behind him and he barely survived.
Similar things happened with the wild French, as he made an enemy with someone known as the Wild, what is their name? The Wild Contra 2015, who is now trying to kill French.
The wild Vince is surviving during this whole game.
The wild French attacked someone who was being very rude.
The wild Vince is surviving as he hopes that he will soon once more see his friend Vince. Not Vince, I meant French. God dang it, why are my names mixed up? He jumps in a cauliflower. He comes out of the cauliflower and he runs back over to see French. Hopefully he is not dead.
French runs from an it, who he saw behind a bush, so he decided to attack.
The wild Vince and French. Actually, the wild Vince has only survived. Will he survive alone? We will find out after this commercial break. And we are back. The wild Vince has been contained by the it disease. Will he survive? He's going for this guy that is running around in circles as he is trying to tackle the guy. The wild Vince is making it. But will he fully live? Only time will tell. And stop sending us chat messages, Amber.
Oh, that wasn't from Amber, that was from me.
Oh, okay. I will soon read what it said.
It is something that is very important to the way I died.
The wild Vince lives barely by the last second.
The wild French suggests that the wild Vince should check the messages now.
The wild Vince checks what he did.
They waved until the bush clears. It is very silent. Marvin's died.
This is going to be the end of the video here, so bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.